guys, Sakara again for another game review featuring the most highly anticipated game, World of Warships. As wargaming promises to give us a taste of this historical online combat game, we are definitely fired up to try it. Get ready and enjoy the ride as we learn more about World of Warships. From the creators of World of Tanks, World of Tank Blitz, World of Warplanes, and World of Tank Generals, wargaming unleashes a new set of MMO naval multiplayer game that will definitely blow your mind, and makes you appreciate more since it's inspired by the 20th century naval war. Remember all these epic naval battles long time ago from the First and Second World Wars? Plus, the idea of navigating well-known warships back in the days. Imagine that, all packed into one game. Having that opportunity to experience it is a big challenge for the developers, since they will need to cover a lot of portion during that era. Considering it's also an action-themed MMO, and was just released in July too, so far, they've done a fantastic job. So let's dive in further on the graphics. Creating perfect locations is the foundation of this game, and they definitely nailed it. Battle maps are designed accordingly to help out the player strategically in the battlefield. The texture of the trees, houses, and geometry of the landscape is flawless, not to mention the sea and the movement of the water covering and splashing around the ship. They even have detailed texture of the stones, green zones, and other elements to provide an eye-catching environment which is impossible to ignore at the start of the game. The fleets are of high quality, as everything is as detailed and specific in every part and corner of the ship. The color is just right and complements its surrounding, somewhat like a canvas that was well painted with distinction. Explosions, debris from the ship, and torpedo shots from afar makes me feel like I'm in a battlefield or a Call of Duty game. Honestly, that's how good the graphic is. If you're pumped up just by talking on how awesome this game looks, let's learn more about on how the game works. So currently, there are two available maps, Island Standard Battle and Big Race Encounter Battle. The game focuses on strategic warfare, which is mainly destroying all of the opponent's naval fleet, or capturing the bases A, B, and C. As I have said earlier, maps or location plays a huge part on defeating your enemy. You can use it to your advantage, and may also become a disadvantage for you and your team. Generally, the map is the backbone for you to have the ultimate experience in the battlefield towards victory or defeat. Team play is also crucial as you need to communicate and strategically place yourself around the map. Maybe helping out your teammates or sneak behind enemy lines and perform an ambush. In a nutshell, those are the missions. Next up, let's get to know more about the iconic vessels. For starters, in the port section, you get two naval ships, which is Eri from the USA and Hashidate from Japan. In-game vessels are also categorized by countries, since of course these are legendary ships that we're talking about. Inspired by the real naval fleets from Japan, USA, USSR, and the UK. Japan vessels are designed by the Imperial Japanese Navy. Since they are considered an island nation, they focus more on technology and seamanship. Yamato is the largest battleship built in real life. Imperial Japanese Navy weapons includes Type 93 torpedo, which is the most impressive torpedo of its era. USA vessels, on the other hand, focuses more on their guns and damage per minute, making them an all-around versatile ship that was ever built. American destroyers are compared to Japanese counterparts, has more advantage with regards to damage per minute in many ways. American cruisers, although they lack torpedoes and armor, they have the ability to counter any air attack and fire up any target per minute. American battleships have a large amount of guns and heavy armor, also slightly quicker to reload, although weakness such as their end part is vulnerable. American carriers have swarming ability with the use of their 6-plane squadrons, but lacks torpedoes and bomb damage. USSR vessels, on the other hand, are ships designed and created by the Imperial Russia and Soviet Union. There are 4 warship types: destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. Destroyers have great maneuverability skill, which can surpass any giant battleships when it comes to speed. they can easily avoid damages and aim quicker to target enemy vessels. But of course, having this huge advantage on speed, they have light armors which adds up on how vulnerable they can be. Since they are long and narrow, turning is rather slow for them. But in spite that, they can easily pass through linear landform, which is difficult for most naval ships. They are well equipped with torpedoes which can sink any in-game warships, but they're just not all bronze. They also have a trick up on their sleeves too. In fact, they can provide smokescreen and cloak-friendly vessels to cover them, may it be a sudden ambush or retreat. Just a quick tip, since you're fast and has the most lethal weapon on your group, I suggest you abuse it to focus fire on the biggest threats to your team. I mean, hey, you get the best of both worlds, which is agility and firepower. And if played correctly, you can definitely win the battle. Cruisers is the most agile in all classic warships. They are cunning and deadly as a force. They can counter destroyers that has high agility with the use of their power cannons and consistent rate of fire. They also have anti-aircraft armament that can cover or protect your team to avoid further damage. And when it comes to versatility, Cruiser has the perfect defense for airstrikes and torpedo attack. Aside from that, they can capture enemy base, destroy capital ships, and finish off damaged vessels. Just a quick info, since they both resemble the same features as a destroyer and battleship, cruisers can be powerful if you excel at multitasking, since you'll be handling a lot of responsibilities like capturing bases, avoiding torpedoes, helping out cover allies, and steering clear of airstrikes, which makes them the most suitable elite captains in the World of Warships. Battleships are considered as heavy hitters, which are known as deadly juggernauts of the sea, having massive firepower and heavy armor on the side. Because of their large size, they may come out as clumsy and unable to easily accelerate during battle, which needs a lot of time to halt and react. They have secondary gun batteries and anti-aircraft guns lined up, which can also be a threat for smaller vessels. Equipped with the heavy armor, they can tank huge damage for the team and counter devastating attack at the same time, which then makes the opponent change its target. Aircraft carriers are extremely powerful when attacking enemy vessels, thus giving that RTS game feel. They carry 4 aircrafts in the battlefield: dive bombers, torpedo bombers, scouts, and fighter planes. Each of these aircrafts have different functions. Aircraft can attack enemy aircraft, scout enemy ships or planes, attack opponent ships, or cover friendly ships and aircraft. They are considered, of course, the fastest compared to the battleships. Acceleration is easy, but has a delay on speed when changing the direction. Quick tip: since you have the height advantage, that air superiority, make sure to aid naval fleets as well as to provide cover for incoming attacks and ambush. And just like in any ships or mecha games, upgrades is always a must. By clicking the modules, you can upgrade a certain part for that particular ship. For example, you want to upgrade Hashidate, components such as the main battery, which deals with the rate of fire, 180 degrees turn time, maximum HE and AP damage. The hull, which deals with combat capability, main turrets, and AA mounts. Gunfire control system that tweaks your firing range, and lastly, engine for adjusting max. At the bottom part, you can also view the ammunition and consumables such as the primary armament and items which can be used during battle phase. You can easily check the difference since you can view the stats for that particular ship just in the far right corner of the screen that has the survivability, artillery, AA guns, maneuverability, and concealment. So what if you want to buy a new ship? Well, the tech tree has got you covered on that one. As a new player, you have 4 vacant slots, and buying an extra slot will cost you 300 doubloons. Unfortunately, the game only offers exchange credits, and getting doubloons means you gotta pay real cash. But hey, buying a new ship needs exchange credits. It's not that bad, right? If in any case you prefer doubloons, then you can check the premium ships. Take note that you may need to play loads of games to gain XP points for you to unlock certain ships, as they need to be researched first for you to acquire it. Ships are ranked as tier 1 to 10, and don't be overwhelmed by the number of ships you see here. Let's move on and learn about how to control your ship. Your main control to hover your ship to any direction is WSAD. W will give you an acceleration to push forward. You can easily monitor it on the bottom left portion of the screen. Speeding down will be the S button. Turning to port is the A button, which is simply your left, and D button for the starboard, which would be your right direction. But be careful not to oversteer, as it may turn unexpectedly and you will lose control on your ship. Make sure your decision to move anywhere on the map is definite and with care. If you want to be more accurate or scout enemy ships in the surrounding area, press the shift button and it will give you a binocular view. Using the mouse wheel will let you zoom in and out. Sending a message to your team is simple. By pressing the enter key and hitting enter again, will let you communicate with them during battle. You can also change maps, from regular maps to the tactical map and the autopilot mode, which has more specific and detailed info. When using your guns and ammunitions, just press the number keys. For this matter, it is 1 and 2, and R for the consumables. Take note that it has a reload timer, so use it wisely and make sure every shots and torpedoes count. To sum it all up, Wargaming really did a fantastic job to recreate a whole new MMO with strategy and action, being able to bring us that warfare experience and somehow educate us with a naval ship's history. I love how the game lets you customize your ships and the freedom to decide on how to win a battle strategically. You are not bound to any rules or lanes, but instead, you look for an advantage on how to outsmart your opponent. Graphics clearly stands out like it came from Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty. The detailed design of the ship, explosions, and the landscape are pretty much spot on. For beginners, it may seem hard to aim, especially if you're moving around, to avoid being hit too. But practice makes perfect, so make sure to abuse the privilege to use bots in matchmaking. Overall, it's definitely worth it and a must-try game. Well, we always do need a breather every once in a while from multiplayer 5 vs 5 arena games, right? Thank you for watching my review. This is Sakara Karasu, signing out.